One of the things that we talked about for Cab 57 Phoenix and where the Phoenix comes from is that we were celebrating, we had come from a COVID cycle. So we said, hey, we're rising from the ashes. Let's aim high, let's burn bright. ML and Lo and I worked together in our second year. We figured out that the three of us could really talk and figure out a design and figure out how to work as a team and solve conflict in a way that worked in that tight timeline.
At the Cab, you're focusing on everything. And I was also really interested in the cross collaboration, right, in the pairing, because I am assigned, but the artistic directors choose to do this. And so I was really interested in what that learning was going to be for me in terms of these folks who I've known, for 3 years, I guess, at this point, but not having had a working relationship like this, right, is a very different working relationship.
Our mission is twofold. We want to create ambitious art, whatever that means, and we looked at that through a scope of viability from our teams coming in and what they viewed as ambitious, but also, secondly, in a way that can take care of people. We had really no interest in putting up ambitious projects for the sake of ambition that would really stretch people past humane limits. We wanted to take care of our people, we wanted to love our community, and we wanted to support our community and still create good art. And that is a hard, line to walk,
But the roles are changing out in the field. And so even though a lot of my duties ended up more in the managing director realm, it did feel important to have that acknowledgement of sort of the marriage that actually happens instead of the separation that happens, right? I can't do anything for the budget if I don't know what the art is, and vice versa. And also, I did end up directing a show this year, which I haven't done since college. I had read Grandmother Bathtub for Theater Moo, where I did my fellowship, which is something we do as theater managers. We go away to a theater, and I went to them. They're in St. Paul. I think they're incredible. And Grandmother Bathtub was one of the final two that we picked, but I read it in my first round and thought, this is an incredible show. And I love it, and I want to champion it. And so, as we kept talking through, I kept championing it. And I reached out to the playwright and I said, hey, I happen to have a black box theater that, is like this great space, and would you care if I submitted this? And so I put myself through our application process. So I recused myself from that selection process. I submitted everything, and it got chosen as one of the plays. It was really good to be reminded as a manager, right, as somebody who's going into the admin side of oh yeah, this is what all the artists are putting themselves through all the time.
I was the in-house producer for this show, and I would come sit in on rehearsals and watch Sarah juggle with, things that you don't normally juggle with. And something Sarah did really well, as far as I can tell, as far as I can tell, is managing her umbrella of teams, right? The two AMDs and then the cab assistants.
Yeah.
Because all of them come in with specific learning goals. It's juggling how the cab needs XYZ to happen, but how we fit those needs in when we're working on such a fast click. I also ran summer cab right before I came into this cab, so I did a 1.5-year term at the Cabaret. Something that I thought about before I even did summer cab was that, hey, if I do artistic direction, I'm going to come out of this 1.5-year term artistically awakened. I'm going to look at a script and be that's what, I thought that I would learn hard skills about artistic direction that would be super beneficial to me as a designer and as an artist, but I actually found that a lot of my useful experiences are actually coming from the side conversations and the sitting in a room together, and not the more quote-unquote artistic direction experiences. And I think that's especially excellent at the Cab because it is somewhat of a community third space where people are designed to bump into each other, and less so a professional theater that I have a contract at where I have 6 production meetings over Zoom, and then we meet for 1 week and then we leave.
Yeah.
Which is how a lot of the real world operates, and that's fine. But I think I have come away from it having learned a lot about making art and how to talk to people making art, and where individual people in the production place their values in what their art is. And I think that's important for me as a designer heading out into the field.
You and I have also talked about, though, that that is sort of why theater in the first place, right? It is that being with people. If you're gonna do theater, there is the art that you're making at the end of the day, but also you're doing it with the people. You're making something with people you like.
That's true.
To be and to work with people who you want to be in community with.